Welcome back to my channel Chemistry Drive with Najmun Nisa. How are you students? I know that you are preparing well for your term 1 exams. They are very near. So just keep on preparing for that. Previously I have prepared 5 chapters in chemistry. Now I have come up with the next chapter, that is biomolecules, and it is one of the most important chapter. So students, today we are starting with this chapter. So let's start. Biomolecules, you know what are biomolecules? These are the organic compounds, and it is a component of many living organisms. So it forms the basis of life. They build up all the living systems and they are responsible for their growth and maintenance. The sequence that relates biomolecules to the organisms is basically, you can start it with the biomolecules. After biomolecules, what they form the organelles. Then organelles, they build up the cells. Then the cells, they compile to form the tissue. You know tissue, it is a group of cells that perform a similar functions. Then these tissues, they compile themselves to form the organs, and finally a living organism is built up. So this is, you can say that the biomolecules, these are the organic compounds, and they are prepared basically from the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So let's start. Next is carbohydrates. So what are carbohydrates? They are the optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes. That is, they include aldehydes and ketone groups. So they are optically active also. These are carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, they are basically made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, and they form the most important component of all the living organisms. They are also known as saccharides. You know why they are known as saccharides? Because they contain sugars, and some polysaccharides, they may not be sweet, but some carbohydrates, they appear sweet, like glucose and fructose. So it is made from the Latin word saccharum, that means sugar, due to the sweety taste of the carbohydrates. Let's have a look at the types of carbohydrates. First is monosaccharides. Monosaccharides, they cannot be further broken up into form the different molecules, the simpler molecules. So we can say that monosaccharides, it is the simpler form of the carbohydrates, and it may be further divided into tetroses, pentoses, hexoses and ketohexoses. So if we take the first example, aldotetrosis, it contains aldehyde group and the number of carbon atom is 4. If we consider aldopentosis, as the name suggests, it contains again the aldehyde group and pentoses. And the example of tetrosis is erythrose and triose, whereas the example of aldopentosis is xylose and ribose. Next is aldohexosis. It means it contains aldehyde group plus the number of carbon atoms in it is 6. The example of it is, you very well know, glucose and galactose. The next example is ketohexosis. Keto, it means it contains the ketone group and it contains 6 carbon atoms, and we know that it is the fruit sugar, that is fructose. So we can say all naturally occurring monosaccharides, they belong to D series. And the Killian synthesis, it is used to convert an aldose into higher aldose, and that we will be seeing in the preparation of carbohydrates. Next is oligosaccharides. Now what is oligosaccharides? Oligos means few. That is, they on hydrolysis, they give us monosaccharides. Oligosaccharides, they are also known as disaccharides. You know the example of it is sucrose. So we can see the example of it is, when we just hydrolyze this sucrose, it reacts with water, that is hydrolysis, and gives us 2 molecules showing the same molecular formula. One is glucose and the other one is fructose. So it's clear, sucrose, it is also known as the cane sugar, and it is an important disaccharide. Next is starch. The general formula for starch is C6H10, C6H10O5N. Any number of these molecules can combine to form the starch. You know it is a polymer of glucose and it is a major reserve material of plants. Starch, you know already the starch test. On reacting it with iodine, it gives the violet color. So this is a test for starch. Now it is basically a mixture of amylose and amylopectin. It contains 20% of amylose with 80% of amylopectin. What is the difference between them is amylose, it is an unbranched water soluble polymer, whereas amylopectin is a branched polymer, water insoluble. So you know the sources of starch are, you eat potatoes, maize, these are all the examples of starch. Rice is also one of them. Next is cellulose. The molecular formula for this is C6H10O5N, and you know it is the most abundant and structured polysaccharides of plants. It is a major component of cellulose and it is the important food source of some animals also. It's a polymers of D positive beta glucose. D positive means you know dextrorotatory, and you also know that L negative is levorotatory. The chief sources of cellulose, they are mainly wood and cotton. Wood contains basically 50% of cellulose and the rest being lignin and resins, whereas cotton, if we take the next example as cotton, it contains about 90% of cellulose and the rest being fats and waxes. There are several materials that we can obtain from cellulose. The number one is mercerized cotton. Now, what is mercerized cotton? When cellulose it is treated with concentrated sodium hydroxide solution, then this substance, it acquires a silky luster. Now it is known as the mercerized cotton. The next one is gun cotton. As the name suggests, it is made for the preparation of gun powder. It's completely nitrated cellulose and it is also known as cellulose nitrate. It is highly explosive in nature naturally when it is used as a gunpowder, so it is highly explosive in nature, and it is also, the condition is that it is also smokeless gunpowder. It is also known as blasting gelatin. Now the next is cellulose acetate. It is used for making acetate rayon, that is for the preparation of the cloth and for the motion picture films also. The last one is cellulose xanthate. It is obtained by treating cellulose with sodium hydroxide and carbon disulfide. So we can just learn of this thing is the mercerized cotton, it is prepared on treating cellulose with sodium hydroxide, whereas the cellulose xanthate, it is prepared by treating cellulose with sodium hydroxide plus carbon disulfide. The last one is, we can say there is also a distinction between reducing and non-reducing sugars. In your organic chemistry, you must have studied about Fehling solution and Tollens reagent. Now, based upon reducing and the non-reducing properties, carbohydrates, they are also reducing and non-reducing. So, if some carbohydrates, they are able to reduce Tollens reagent and Fehling solutions, they are known as reducing. Otherwise, they are known as non-reducing. So, we can say all monosaccharides and disaccharides, they are reducing except sucrose, and sucrose is non-reducing. Sucrose plus polysaccharides, they are non-reducing sugars. Now, sugars and non-sugars, carbohydrates that are sweet in taste, they are sugary, and the carbohydrates that are not sweet in taste, they are non-sugars. So, that's all for carbohydrates. In my next video, I'll be telling you about how to prepare glucose and we'll be discussing about all the properties of glucose. Thank you. Keep